matters discussed during the public comment period.
Thank you, President Corson. We'll start with Audit LA, and I'll go ahead and start the 10-minute clock now.
Good morning, everyone. I want to talk about yesterday at the East Hollywood bid meeting. The chair said he just signed up for the Angelino portal and chuckled because it now makes sure that you don't have any kind of slavery or, and he laughed. And I'm like, I've been saying that here. It's not a funny situation. There is modern day form of slavery going on, and it's at right here at the Scientology Blue Building. It's the RPF. It's also the Sea Org, where these people work for $47 a week for 110 hours a week. And if you're in the RPF, which is their prison system, that is hard labor. Like, there's literally the senior man who has severe osteoporosis, who is, he has to literally vacuum L. Ron Hubbard way or help a blind man across the street, and he can barely he needs help getting across the street. But this is how they treat people. And now, because it's a religious institution, it's not considered slavery. It's considered your religious servitude. But once they work on the street like that, vacuuming a street, okay, the new laws come in. That's the state.
Thank you, Audit LA. That's 60 seconds. We'll move next to Gigi. Go ahead.
Okay, so that meeting that Audit was talking about, I heard the representative for Senator Durazo say that L. Ron Hubbard Way was vacated to Scientology back when they changed the name. That is totally false. And it is horrible that the representative for the senator would say that. But I want to remind you, when they do approach you for the street vacation, please do not do it. Please do metered parking. Get some money. There's no way that there's no parking there. There's no proof of it. So put the metered parking in. Get money. Also, stop with the special event permits that you keep giving them. Like, enforce them more. Do more inspections. Because it's a season. They're starting up again, and it's going to be endless. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move next to Juju.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to talk about the permits that Scientology gets. They have a permit for this Sunday for a community Easter event that is advertised on Eventbrite, supposed to be open to the public. Last year they had this same event. They had police officers, at least 10 of them, across the street and across the sidewalks. The permit specifically says the sidewalks have to be open. They stopped selectively according to who Scientology would let in and out of the sidewalk. One of the ladies that was there, named Laura Anderson, is an ex-Scientologist who was born and raised in Scientology. She was there trying to make contact with her father, who is in the Blue Building as a slave. He is elderly. Scientology has a disconnection policy. They won't let her talk to him. It was heartbreaking. She just wanted to say something to her father.
That's 60
She
seconds.
got a
Thank
microphone.
you. We'll move next to Georgina.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I am calling in concern of the L. Ron Hubbard street vacation. I am seriously concerned about this street vacation because if you close off that street, you are further isolating the members of Scientology that are trying to leave. They have had known instances of kidnapping people that have tried to leave. I urgently beg you to look up Maureen Bolstad's story. She tried to escape several times. She was kidnapped, put into forced labor camps, and under 24-hour guard. It took her another 3 years to escape. If you vacate that street, you're closing off any avenue of hope for these people. I yield back my time.
We'll move next to MD Media.
Yes, good morning. I'm concerned about the flags out in front of City Hall. I was out there again this week. Excuse me. I was out there again this week, and they're still tattered. They look terrible. The one last flag, the POW flag, is tattered and shambles. I'm ashamed of the city for letting you guys letting these flags go this long. I was watching a documentary from 2020 last night. Those flags are in there. City Hall, same thing. They look terrible. So they have not been changed since 2020. Thank you. I yield back my time.
We'll move next to Carla.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I would like to know, there are several issues I would like to ask you about or comment about. One of them is the smokestack that has been is being taken out in Catalina Street in the Scientology building. I want to know if they have a permit and if the city has checked if this has been done well, because it was a safety hazard. We have numerous videos showing how they haven't protected neighbors. The street was not closed, and there is a testimony of Rosemary Chickwak, who escaped from Scientology thanks to her son, a war veteran who helped her escape, and she has the videos online. And she mentioned that she was forced to work in an asbestos building and remove asbestos. So I don't know if this is going to the neighbors or the people who are living inside. The other issue is what the other callers said about, which has to do with isolating the members who are inside.
That's
If
60 seconds.
you
Thank you.
check
We'll move
Rosemary.
next to Henri. Go ahead.
This board has a big issue on following through with Brown Act violations, and I'm not going to let it go. I will civilly sue you, and I will make sure that the city prosecutes you criminally. That's the beautiful thing about the Brown Act in California. There's criminal consequences, whereas in other states it's mostly just civil action. I'm not going to live it down. I have a dozen letters that I filed for cure and corrects, and they're not going to go away. There is no such thing as a statute of limitations. The only thing that there's a statute on is you guys have 30 days to actually provide relief. And I still haven't gotten that. I have a dozen letters I filed. And I'm tired of it. You know, you guys think suits aren't going to be brought, but I don't let this stuff go down, man. Give me my demanded relief and allow me to have my public comment be inputted. It's just that simple. But instead, you're going to make a whole lawsuit out of it. And like I said, I'm going to see it through. Dozen letters. Let me have my public comments. I've already written you dozens of times.
And that's 60
Stop this
seconds.
nonsense.
And finally, we have Jill. Go ahead.
Hi, as we are in the midst of the celebration of Passover, currently in the fourth day of the 8-day celebration, I urge you not to have a street vacation, because as Jews were released from their slavery in Egypt, we have to help release the Scientologists from their slavery on L. Ron Hubbard Way, which means that you should not have a street vacation, because you will be furthering their enslavement. Think long and hard, because you will be just like the Pharaoh of Egypt. Bye.
And that concludes public comment this morning, President Corsend.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. We'll close general public comment portion for today's meeting and move on to the multiple agenda items public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment for up to 1 minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item.
And we'll start multiple agenda item commentary with Audit LA. Please indicate which item you are speaking to. Go ahead.
I believe it's 1, 2, 8, and 9, but don't hold me to it. But I will stay on topic. Okay, the first two, are the sidewalk repair. I'm glad to see $4 million going into sidewalk repair, but that's just a minimal drop in the bucket of what's needed. And I understand you have to do project by project, but with all, my ones I put in for the handicap relief one under the Willets, we've been given, they told me it's going to be a 10-year, a 10-year project to even get any, whatever complaint we're making today, it's going to take 10 years for it to come up. That is unacceptable. That's going to be years after the Paris Olympics come and go, and you are really going to have this city that's A, unlit, and B, bad sidewalks. That's a recipe right there for massive amounts of lawsuits. And then, so let's jump to number 9, okay? Here you are forgiving over $100,000 worth of fines, okay? Why? I mean, that $100,000, right? Maybe you put that towards the Willits lawsuit, right? You could say, hey, let's put that towards, and take something from 10 years for the sidewalk repair down to 9 years. But you're not, and this is not the first time I see this. And we've also come here many times telling you that even with all they're going after all the planters that we went here for months, that those fees are probably over $1 million at this point if you really seriously calculated and would actually seriously go after it. $1 million plus that 100,000, we're getting close to what this project is worth. Okay, so that's another whole project that could be done just with that alone. And the city wants to go after money, but here's your to get but instead they're going after the people who are not committing violations. Okay, and try to raise our taxes and raise everything and fees and fees. Go after the fines. Collect your fines. Why are you not collecting them? Excuse me. And as far as the stinky water of Hyperion, okay, yeah, we don't want stinky water. So of course, we want you to fix that, but there's a lot of stuff that stinks here, okay, and it's beyond. It's that one right there is almost like a great metaphor for the city right now, and what's being done in it, and with all these things, it stinks. And it's just, it needs to be handled better. You need to make that not a 10-year process to fix the sidewalks. You need to collect the money that is owed you. Okay, and yeah, you got to.
And that's 3 minutes, and we'll move next to Georgina.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Please indicate
I want
which
to
item you're
speak on
speaking.
agenda item 14 and then agenda item 22. I'll start with 14, the Community Beautification Act. I think this is a fabulous thing that you guys are doing. I want to commend Supervisor Horvath for putting this forward by opening up engagement.
I'm going to go ahead and put you on mute and pause your time. There is no agenda item 14, and there is no agenda item 22. So if you would like to speak on one of our agenda items, please indicate which items you are speaking on, and I'm going to go ahead and unmute you.
I'm sorry, I must have the wrong agenda list. I will yield back my time.
And we'll move next to Henri M. Please indicate which items you're speaking on.
Hey, yep, I'll go through them with you. So I'll start with agenda item 1. All right. We know from our very own city councilors that for consideration at a minimum, it takes 10 years. Just for consideration. It's not even a guarantee that a sidewalk repair will even go on the agenda, but it takes 10 years. Okay. Now, after the 10 years, what happens? It's 20 to 30 to actually execute the work. So I asked this board, okay? Why do you hate disabled people so much when you can't even fix the sidewalks to allow them to egress and regress? Why do you hate disabled people with a passion that you can't even do your civic duty to make sure that they have accessible infrastructure to go about their day and live independently? Why must you burden them so? And we're talking about budgets here. Let's talk about the budget for the city. Your very own city controller has repeatedly stated, and as of 2 weeks ago, shared very publicly that the city is well over $1 billion in deficit, and that's on the conservative side. The city is desperate for money. So these items on a sidewalk repair, where are you going to get the money? I'll tell you a legitimate way you can get the money for items 1 and 2. There's a very legitimate legal way to get the money where you don't have to harass people, where you can actually collect fees and generate legitimate revenue. One of those is parking meters. It's a big one, and the other one is prosecutorial fines. You don't even have to pay for a general counsel. The city attorney is your general counsel. They are your in-house counsel. How do you get those fines? You'd install parking meters on L. Ron Hubbard Way, a public street,
So,
public street.
Item 1 is a sidewalk
And
repair
you-
program bid.
And you also go after prosecutorial fines, okay? You go after prosecutorial fines, and one of those is the violations of the public right-of-way access. $2,500 a day per violation. Each one is a new charge. The city is entitled to over $2 million to Scientology
Which
just on
item
the
are you
planters
speaking
alone.
on?
Go collect on the planter money. Don't interrupt me, TJ. So help me God, TJ.
So I'm muting you and I'm pausing your time. This is not public comment. This is agenda item commentary. If you would please indicate which item you are speaking on. Go ahead.
Cure and correct right now, TJ. I want that cure and correct. I'm sick and tired of this. I want yet again, my public comment is being interrupted and I'm explaining the budget item.
So this is not public comment. This is agenda item commentary.
This is multiple agenda item comment, so
I
please
am
identify
commenting on the
which
budget
multiple
related to
agenda
items 1
items
and
you're
2.
speaking on. Thank you.
I want my cure and correct. I want my cure and correct right now. info@filmthepoliceusa.com. File it. I want my receipt of the filing. Will you honor the cure and correct right now, or are we going to go through this and make it 13 that I have?
And that's 3 minutes. And that concludes multiple agenda item commentary this morning, President Corson.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Knight. With that, we'll close the multiple agenda item public comment for today's meeting. Move on to the approval of minutes for Friday, April 4th. If there's a second to my motion to approve those minutes.
Move.